Viewers Global Window laga team aji Agri Expo Ang House te higine ase invitation for a multi-stakeholder meet workshop on suitable oil palm cultivation with special reference in the negative campaign against the oil palm cultivation in Nagaland. Organized Krishi Department of Agriculture, Government of Nagaland. Aro aji laga resource person ase Mr. Ashwin Silvaraj, Deputy Director, Market Transformation and Head of India and China Region Roundtable on Sustainable Palm Oil (RSBO). Aro dusra do Dr. K. Manorama, Principal Scientist, Agronomy, ICART, Indian Institute of Oil Palm Resource, Andhra Pradesh. To ami khan edi dikhi pai ase ki around 300 manu nishna participate kurine ase. Itu do officials khan ase, noholi bi progressive farmers aro yede NGOs khan ahine ase. Ahi bi tu laga workshop laga opore ami khan details pra sai sabo.
Good morning and welcome everyone. As we all know, oil palm is a crucial crop offering significant economic benefits and contributing to the growth of our local communities. This workshop is designed to provide you with the latest knowledge and practical skills on sustainable oil palm, focusing on topics such as improved planting techniques and contextual comparison, myths, realities, and sustainable pathways. Today's workshop will be a collaborative learning experience. We have a diverse group of experts who will share their insights and experiences. I therefore encourage you all to participate actively and share your experiences and learn from the experts who will be presenting today. Let's make this workshop a resounding success of a valuable and experience for all involved. Thank you, and I look forward to an engaging and productive day.
Actually, this oil palm cultivation in the state was initiated during 2015 and 16, covering the foothill areas as an objective to replace low-value crop for the benefit of small and marginal farmers. It is a burning desire of the state to create employment opportunities. The cultivation of oil palm has a high value crop with higher economic returns per hectare with viability gap funding offered by the Government of India under NMEO-OP. It will be therefore a boon to the subsistence farmers in comparison to growing oilseeds and plantation crops. The cultivation of oil palm as a high-value crop with higher economic returns per hectare with viability gap funding offered by the Government of India under NMEO oil palm will therefore be a boon to the subsistence farmers in comparison to growing other oilseeds and plantation crops.
We wanted to issue two main basic issues. The first one is many activists and social media we call keyboard warriors, and of course with due respect we call them Google scientists. They read the stories from Indonesia and Malaysia and they compare it with the story of Nagaland or Northeast or India. So the story from Indonesia and Malaysia is different. There, the companies, they themselves, even a single company is managing 5 lakh, around average 5 lakh hectares. Whereas the total cultivation area in India is only around 4 lakh hectares till now. So they have destroyed a large, vast area of equatorial forest. So naturally, flora and fauna and a lot of greenhouse gases were emitted. So environmental groups in Europe and all, they flagged the issue. And with the initiatives of World Wildlife Fund, the Malaysian Oil Palm Association, Unilever, and some other environmental groups, they started this organization called Roundtable on Sustainable Palm Oil. It is a non-profit, started in 2004 in Switzerland, and now they certify sustainable palm oil cultivations across the value chain, including the processors, the producers, the marketing, and the other in the chain. So, to address this issue, that their story and our narratives are different, we have invited Sri Ashwin Selvaraj, who is here today with us. He is the marketing head for India and China, based in Chennai. So we will hear from the horse's mouth how they certify, how they give certification for sustainable palm oil cultivation.
My first interaction with palm oil was back in 2011. I was working in the coffee sector in Netherlands, and we were dealing with sustainability also in the coffee and cocoa sector. When I first encountered oil palm then, just by news and hearsay, I also was a skeptic. I was also very skeptical about oil palm, because when you hear what's happened, when you just see the news, you only see a lot of issues around oil palm. So I was also a skeptic then. So what do we say? Is palm oil bad, and should we say no to it? Or should we try to make sure that palm oil is produced in a sustainable manner? Recognizing that there have been issues in the past, trying to make sure that those issues do not appear again. If you click again. So the answer, I hope, for us here would be that we will not say no to palm oil, but we'll make sure that palm oil is produced in a sustainable manner. So what is that sustainability, right? So when you think about sustainability, not just for palm, but for any commodity or any definition, you think about 3 pillars. There are 3 basic pillars of sustainability: people, planet, and profit. Because at the end of the day, we are dealing with a commodity, we are dealing with a business. Even if it's farming, it's a business. So we need to ensure there is profit. If there is no profit, there is no business. So we'll have to try to find that balance between ensuring that the people involved are protected, ensuring the resources and the natural resources that will be used is conserved, while ensuring that the businesses and the farmers are making profits. How do you find that balance? That is basically what sustainability is all about. So our organization, we've come together and have defined a set of principles across all of these pillars that will collectively say, okay, if you implement these principles, if you follow these regulations, if you follow these guidelines, the palm oil that you're producing can be considered in a sustainable manner. A lot of the issues in terms of oil palm are systemic issues. It cannot be addressed by one particular company. So that's where the government comes in. So the governments come in, and then we have a framework called jurisdictional framework, which is basically the government, and it's a public-private kind of a partnership. So the government, the industry, and civil society comes together and then commits that all the palm oil that's produced in my jurisdiction will be produced in a sustainable manner with due respect to environmental and social norms. So this kind of an initiative is already happening in many parts. We are supporting a lot of these governments, also both national and subnational governments, in framing policies. In implementing those policies and identifying, conducting those risk assessments. So in the Sabah state in Malaysia, Thailand, Surat Thani, we visited Thailand last year, then Indonesia, the country of Gabon, Edo state of Nigeria, and Ecuador. So a lot of these government jurisdictions have come together and said, okay, we will collectively work with you, as well as the industry, farmers, all of them, to develop a set of policies that will ensure a lot of these concerns are put to rest. So there is a more systemic intervention. Last one, I'll just end my talk with a video. So this is just a video from a farmer that we work with in West Africa, who is better to hear from them than me about how palm oil can be grown in a sustainable manner and how it is contributing to their livelihoods as well. So with that, after the video, I'll thank you
Now let us see how we are cultivating our oil palm in Indian conditions, and what are our recommendations and how farmers are following those recommendations. The suitable areas for oil palm cultivation were identified through GIS mapping. And regarding slope management, here because in northeastern states you will be having slopey lands. So if the slope is less than 12%, so you don't need to have any modification. You can plant oil palm as such. And if it is between 12 to 23%, you have to make some minor modifications like circular platforms or half moon terracing. That is the recommended practice. And if the slope is beyond 23% and up to 38%, you have to go for bench terracing. That is a must. And if it is more than 38%, better not to go with oil palm. So don't recommend oil palm in highly slopey areas like more than 38% slope. So method of planting, what we recommend is north-south direction is better for harvesting more sunlight, and 143 palms per hectare is the recommended population. If we look at the water use efficiency of this crop in comparison with other oil yielding crops like coconut, groundnut, sunflower, soybean and rapeseed, the water use efficiency, that is kg of oil per cubic meter of water, is very high in oil palm. You see 1.22 to 3.3. This is the most efficient, water use efficient crop. Whatever myths what we have seen so far, they are just often rooted in global context. That only you might be seeing in newspapers or other media also. So they are not always applicable to our conditions. So we have seen whatever oil palm cultivation we are recommending, it is under sustainable lines only. And this our area, Northeast India, presents a unique opportunity for climate resilient and sustainable cultivation of oil palm. So with whatever recommended practices are available, it can be a boon in northeastern India. So it is not at all a threat. So that you can easily understand from our discussions. So thank you very much.
As RSPO set the context of sustainability, ma'am has given technological know-how, oil palm. So where do we stand as a company? Okay. So what will be our stand? See, IOPR as a stalwart institute for various practices will develop technologies for the farmers for getting more productions, better agricultural practices. On the other hand, farmers, they know cultivations, they will grow oil palm. So where do we come in? Actually, as an organization, as a Godrej or Patanjali and other areas, we come to the commercial viability part, okay? Commercially, whether the crop whether the project is viable or not. When we talk of commercial viability, as a company, we don't talk about momentary commercial viability. We talk about long duration. It's not a month, it's not years, we call it decades. Where a project, when it becomes viable, it's good for the community, good for the company, good for the overall growth of the economy. So where does commercial viability come from? It comes from sustainability, where RSP will come in. Sustainability, when you speak of, it's about various forms. When you speak of sustainability, it will be sustainable for farmers, for the environment, and for the economy also. So here in entire context, where farmers is in one hand, where growers in one hand, IOPR is there, sustainability factors are there. We are standing in between, trying to coordinate all the activities so that the entire activity becomes viable, sustainable for the entire nation as well as for the community. So, as a representative of my organization, Godrej, I just like to take few things like, as Mr. Ashwin has mentioned, in the planet pillar, okay, no deforestation. So in Northeast, except Assam, if you go to Arunachal, if you go to Mizoram, if you go to Nagaland, even Tripura also, okay, what do? We do zone cultivations, shifting. We deforest one area, go to the next area next year, third area. Now oil palm, it's a crop that will be there for next 25-30 years, okay. So where the practices of Jhum will be controlled through oil palm, there will be no deforestation. Again, NOP is there, who has already told that no forest land, no deforestation, okay. Now, let's take about people pillar, where he said that it has to be, we have to take permission for various agencies so that the land where the cultivation is being done is, it's not under any dispute or not under dispute of forest regulations. So here we want to take a stand there. In NOP we have to get the forest land, the land where the cultivation will be done has to be certified by the PRI bodies, as a Panchayat Raj institution or the local villages. So there is no question of being forest area being utilized, because it will be certified by the department, the government and the PRI members. So there is the people's pillar. Now there is a prosperity pillar where Ashwin has told that we look at some prices where the sustainable practices will give better pricing to the farmers as well as better income source. So now there is now in NOP there is a viability price, okay. So our cultivation, the NOP program which has been given by the department or the central government, it covers all the pillars. If you look at various points, it will be covering pillars of your planet pillar, people pillar and prosperity also. So coming to your, as you said, ma'am has told about genetic potential is 18.5 metric tons. Now if it has a genetic point 18.5 metric tons, now when you convert it to FFBs, it is a income for the farmers, okay. So if it's 18.5 tons, roughly it will be around, say, it will be around 80 metric tons of FFB. So I know it's a potential which is given, it is what is their experimental potential, but even if you take a potential of, in our conditions, as a potential of 20 to 25 tons per hectare, now we have got various other crops in these areas. People are growing arecanut, people are growing jackfruit, people are growing bananas. If you compare all these crops, now oil palm is one of the crops that is going to give the farmers or rural persons or rural villagers economic benefit much better than compared to other crops. Now, as also ma'am told, it's our crop response to management practices very well. Now, I will tell this in context of Mizoram. I have been visiting Mizoram for several years. I first joined in Mizoram in 2012 onwards. Now, there are various fields in Mizoram. Recently, I visited last week in Mizoram. Now, I've gone to various fields and I've seen the crop growth in various fields. Now, Mizoram farmers, there are farmers who has gone 22 metric tons per hectare, and some farmers negligible. Now this is what management comes in. A little bit of better management gives a good yield to the farmers. What I have seen in Mizoram, fruit bunches from 5 kilos to 25 kilos. Now that's a big 5 times difference of sizes in there. That is because of the management. And just for you to all notice, here management of oil palm in a northeastern context, especially in Mizoram, is the management done in terms of keeping the fields clean, a little bit of cultural practices. Utilization of fertilizer will be very, very limited. As you know, it is not available there in, I think, Nagaland also. It will be a big issue in Mizoram. It's a issue there. We don't get fertilizers there. So what is there is saying that whatever potential the land is having, this plantations or this oil palm can really take advantage of it. Without fertilizers, without any this thing, without irrigation. Mizoram has no irrigations, but still it is giving a good yield to the farmers and they are able to earn good amount of money. So in this context, Nagaland as the same terrain, in fact better terrain than Mizoram, in fact better terrain than your Tripura also, because here in Dimapur a lot of flat areas are there. So I do believe this crop will be a very distinct for our economy, for the Naga farmers. In terms of plantations, yes, last year we have done 600 hectares of plantation here, as Chumou sir has told us. And here actually from Godrej we are not able to actually do plantations last year because there was a shortage of planting material. So this year, to kickstart our plantation program, actually we are getting planting material from Assam. Already we are in the process of getting planting material for 100 hectares of land. Then by mid-June and July we will be having at least say around 400 and 500 hectares of planting material. So I do hope people who are trying to take up oil palm plantations in Nagaland, in our area, I do hope they carry forward their dream of getting the plantations, and I wish them all the luck for the coming plantation season. Thank you.
Viewers, itia moi logode ekta resource person ase, taitu Dr. Manorama, Principal Scientist, Agronomy, ICAR, Indian Institute of Oil Palm Resource, Andhra Pradesh laga ase. Thank you so much, madam, for giving your time to Global Window. I would like to ask a few questions regarding this palm oil cultivation. What are the sustainability about palm cultivation?
Thank you very much. Actually, Indian palm oil cultivation is entirely different from that of other countries. Here, the government is having lots of guidelines which promote only the sustainable cultivation of oil palm. Here, the whatever recommended practices that we are recommending from our institute, that is IIOPR is the premier institute for oil palm research in India. So we are only developing all the package of practices that have to be followed by the farmers. So government is recommending only those practices, and they are all meeting with the sustainable standards. So there is no question of unsustainability in oil palm production in India.
Okay. And one more thing I wanted to clarify to our viewers out here and to the people of Nagaland. How safe is that for us to consume the palm oil?
So in a broader sense, no oil is good for human health. So in huge quantities, if you take any oil, it is not at all good for human health. But however, in rotation, every oil you can consume which contains huge quantities of nutrients and also other vitamins, especially crude palm oil, which is called red palm oil. It has got higher quantities of vitamin A and E and also lots of keratins. So this will be helpful in enhancing the heart health of the humans. So that is very good. But however, we have to restrict the quantity and also the way of utilization of the oil. Like repeated use of any oil, it will lead to the heart problems.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Viewers, mulo de itia Mr. Ashwani Selvaraj, Deputy Director, Market Transformation and Head of India and China Region, Roundtable on Sustainable Palm Oil. Thank you so much for giving your time to Global Window. I would like to ask you a few questions regarding this palm oil cultivation. I wanted to clarify to the people of Nagaland because there are a lot of negativity about this. And then how about trainings? Are you giving any trainings to our local farmers?
Shana, thank you for having me. Palm oil cultivation per se is not unsustainable because it's a naturally occurring crop from West Africa. So it all comes down to where you plant and how you manage your plantations. So I think there are a lot of safeguards built into the NMEOP scheme in India, and the department is taking the right measures to implement those safeguards in India, in Nagaland particularly. We also have a few tools through which you can do a risk assessment before you plant. So we'd be happy to work with the department and the relevant stakeholders here to socialize those tools and how those risks can be identified and managed. So palm oil, what we've seen is in many parts of the world can be produced in a sustainable manner with respect to the environmental values as well as the social values for that particular region. So there is a possibility to produce palm oil in a sustainable manner. It all comes down to us working collectively to ensure that it is done in the right way. In terms of our approach to training of stakeholders, we have a model where a train-the-trainer approach, where we work with a group of master trainers, both locally as well as international experts. So through which we train a group of master trainers in India as well, and then roll it out to the regional farmers and relevant stakeholders. So in Nagaland, we have not started any trainings as yet, but we'll be happy to start working with relevant stakeholders in Nagaland to promote and provide these trainings. So, yeah.
So are you getting any kind of good response from our people?
We just started to engage, so the department is very keen to work with us to understand sustainability and to socialize it. The industry partners here who have a stake in cultivation of palm oil India are already members of our organization, so we're already working with all of the industry players. So through them, I think we'll slowly start reaching out to the farmers and the communities to create this awareness and provide the training.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you so much for your time.
So viewers, apni khan mi dikhi paise aji laga workshop laga upore. আজি লাগা ৰিসোৰ্স পাৰ্সন থাকিছে দুইটা বাহাৰ বাহিনে তাহান বা ভালবা আমি খানকে সমঝাই দিছে কি পাম অয়েল কাল্টিভেশন বা আমি খান লাগা এনवायरमेंट দে কো নকসান নানিব কইনি তাহান বাৰবি জানাই দি আছে আৰু তাহান লা খুশি পাবি জানাই দি আছে কি গভৰ্নমেন্ট অফ নাগালেণ্ড বাইনিগা ইনিশিয়েটিভ লইনে ইতে লাগা লোকাল ফাৰ্মাৰ্স খান নহলিবি এনজিওস খান নহলিবি অফিশিয়ালস খান গে এটো লাগা উপরে ভালবা শিকাই দিছে আৰু পাম অয়েল কাল্টিভেশন আনাবৰা আমি খান লাগা ইকোনমিক গ্ৰোথ বি বেছি মদত কৰিব কইনি বি জানাই দিছে Nagaland bishi charcha chuli thagise ki NGOs khan bra itu palm oil cultivation do kurubule na dibo koine whereas in the year 2014 and 15 cultivation do suru hoise aru ami khan huni pai ase ki 8 district Nagaland de palm oil cultivation do suru hoise with the hectares of 1200 holibi department khan laga target ase 4000 hectares te tahan iniga palm oil cultivation chulibo koine etu do food hills khan de tahan iniga kore aru ite ami khan laga environment de eku nuksan nanibo koine ase aru department khan barbi farmers khan aro companies khan lore MOU sign kurine ase etu ki laga company khan ase gole do Patanjali aro Godrej khan laga ase to ami khan akha kuribo ki Nagaland laga farmers khan barbi mon digine palm oil cultivation kuine economically ami khan laga state tv stability ekta ani boine dangor ekta akhar ke ase ita gane man ase for more news and update keep watching Global Window. This is your reporter Yaungamla with my camera person Merin Kaba reporting from Ang House Agri Expo Chubugeri District.
Love coffee? Why not build a career around it? Join Eagle Crest and get 100% placement assistance with brands like Roast Coffee Roastery, Pete's Coffee, and more overseas. Learn espresso extraction, latte art, machine handling, and customer service. Eagle Crest, brewing careers, one cup at a time.